Game day's here, I can hear the crowd. Turn on the lights, fans are cranked up and loud. Red or blue, we wear it proud. Yeah, we love our teams in this border town. Chiefs and Royals, Boo Mizzou, Rock Chalk, Jayhawk, KU. Hear that drum pounding in your feet. Yeah, you're marching to the beat of KC.
What is going on, YouTube? What is going on, Kansas City? And what is going on, everybody? And welcome to the Beat of KC. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Lucas Murphy, and I'm excited to bring you another video on the Kansas City Royals offseason. They have been in a lot of discussion around trades. We're going to be talking a little bit of free agency, and I don't anticipate a whole lot of free agent transactions. There are going to be a few things, a few additions that will be made through, obviously, free agency, but I would anticipate a big-time acquisition coming from a trade. But this person that we're going to be talking about in this specific video, well, two people we're going to be talking about, really could come from the free agent market. I'm excited to talk about it, and obviously a big-time ESPN analyst really thinks that there's a chance that this could happen, so we're going to talk about it. Now, the Royals entered the 2025-26 season, offseason, with a clear mission: improve their offense. That's blatantly obvious. We struggled in the outfield to really kind of build momentum, to build any type of sustainability when it comes to run production. We lacked in a lot of that. Although we did have some solid defensive play in the outfield, we really lacked contribution with the bat in the outfield on a consistent basis, specifically in the power category. But with that being said, there are other additions that can be made and that could really solidify, kind of adding some power that can help this outfield kind of just play in their everyday routine. So we're looking to improve the offense. Despite promising work on the mound, the Kansas City Royals pitching staff was absolutely solid. When they weren't injured, they really shoved on the mound, and it was exciting to see that we actually had a solid starting rotation and how deep that rotation goes. So we know that there is promising work on the mound. Now, Kansas City's lineup lacked the consistent firepower needed to reach the postseason, and unfortunately, that is the truth. I mean, you had some very solid, talented players. I mean, Salvador Perez and Vinny Pasquantino are the first two Royals in history to hit for 30 home runs and over 100 RBIs together. So that was there. Bobby Witt Jr., although people said he had a little bit of a down year, it's kind of ironic because he brought home a Silver Slugger, he brought home a Gold Glove, and he also brought home the Platinum Glove. But, I mean, that's neither here or there. But the fact that Bobby Witt Jr. still contributed, we had an uptick in production from Maikel Garcia at third base, who also took home a Gold Glove. So there were a lot of shining moments. But when you really look at this team as a whole, there were some holes throughout the lineup and how you can really kind of uptick that production and help with some of these guys. So in that light, the club, under President, Baseball Operations, and General Manager J.J. Piccolo, is reportedly tracking several upgrades, with one name rising as a strong fit: three-time All-Star second baseman Gleyber Torres. And that really is coming from Jeff Passan of ESPN, and this is what he had to say. The Royals, who finished 82-80, third place in the AL Central, believes that the perfect transaction for the Royals in the offseason would be: the Royals need bats to surround Bobby Witt Jr., Vinny Pasquantino, Maikel Garcia, Salvador Perez, and pair that with young hitters with immense promise in Jack Caglione and Carter Jensen. The outfield is clear area of improvement, though guys like Kyle Tucker, who's probably going to get an astounding contract, isn't happening, and Cody Bellinger, who would be a really amazing fit, is a stretch. They could opt for a guy like Trent Grisham or bring back Mike Yastrzemski, which we're going to be talking about. Now, the biggest impact, though, could come via what they tried to do last year in trading for Jonathan India. Obviously, we give up Brady Singer, a guy we drafted from Florida, a very solid third guy in your rotation. It was tough to really see Brady Singer go, but in return, you were hoping that you were going to get a top-of-the-lineup productive bat and a decent, not stellar, not Gold Glove style, but at least somewhat of a good defense at second base. Get a high on base second baseman who can lead off with professional at-bats, and that's what they thought they were getting in India, presumably with version 2.0 of the idea working better than the first. Signed free agent second baseman Gleyber Torres. So very interesting. Gleyber Torres played with the Tigers, but we're going to talk about his 8 years in the MLB. 7 of those were in pinstripes, with playing for the New York Yankees, and obviously, like we just stated, 1 with the Tigers. Torres is a 3-time All-Star and has a career 2.9 WAR, 8,813 at-bats, 6 hits, 154 homers, 264 batting average, 539 runs, 515 RBIs, 57 stolen bases, 337 OBP, 433 slug, 770 OPS, and 112 OPS plus. His will be turning 29 before the season actually kicks off. So that's something to take into consideration when you're talking contract and really the value of his contract. So why does Torres make sense? In 2025, he hit 256, 358, 387 slash line, and had 16 home runs with 74 RBIs and a 2.9 WAR. I think his WAR career-wise is a little bit higher. I think I actually put his 2025 WAR there. He had solid numbers for a middle infielder, and that was something that I really think that they were seeking for him to have with the New York Yankees. He did make a lot of mistakes at second base. They kind of shifted him around at times with the New York Yankees. He just really did not really settle in towards the end of his tenure with the Yankees, and that's why he ended up with the Detroit Tigers. His right-handed bat offers power that Kansas City's lineup has been missing, potentially anchoring the middle of the order. This brings playoff experience, including being a contributor during the New York Yankees 2024 postseason run, which is a valuable seasoning for a young contending team. He brings that experience to the Kansas City Royals, who have experienced, ironically, they experienced a postseason run against the New York Yankees after defeating the Baltimore Orioles in the wild card. They would welcome, the New York Yankees in a series, and they would unfortunately fall up short. And the New York Yankees would actually go on to play the Dodgers in the World Series, losing to the Dodgers. Crucially, his expected cost appears to align with the Royals' budget strategy. He isn't expected to demand a massive long-term contract, making a short-term deal 1 or 2 years plausible while providing roster flexibility. And why does this matter to the Royals? The second base position has been a point of weakness, and not necessarily from a fielding standpoint, although Jonathan India struggled at times. Michael Massey is a little bit more of an improvement there, but outside of Michael Garcia playing second base briefly before he really solidified third base, the Royals struggled to find consistency. Current incumbent Jonathan India struggled to produce consistent offense last season. He started out as the leadoff. He really just did not excel. They dropped him down to like 6th or 7th in the lineup, and that really left a gap that the front office clearly wants to fill. And the same can be said for Michael Massey. Michael Massey just did not get it going this year. He didn't replicate really his run that he had into the postseason, and he kind of struggled. He dealt with a lot of injuries and really played majority of his time down in AAA last year, really kind of coming back from the injury. He sustains a lot of back injuries, and he just kind of goes through it, ladies and gentlemen. So by bringing in someone like Torres, the Royals could upgrade both the glove and the bat at a key infield spot. In summary of Torres, would check several boxes: an immediate offensive boost, experience, potential upgrade, and manageable financial commitment. For a franchise looking to swing into contention into 2026, mostly trying to, win the Central, this kind of smart, calculated ad can make a meaningful difference. So I really think that is a significant thing to think about. Could Gleyber Torres truly sign a contract with the Royals, or is he at the point in his career turning 29 where he consistently wants to stay on a more massive team? And when I say massive, I'm talking about a big market club. Is he going to look again for a New York Yankees, a New York Mets, a Dodgers, the teams that can really pay big dollar? Is he going to go for the highest dollar he can get for that contract? It'll be interesting to see. Or does he want to play again for a team like the Royals, the Tigers, or someone similar to those statures? In a market that never sleeps, one name rises above the rest. Lisa Miller from Dan Lynch Real Estate. Trusted by hundreds and recognized across the Midwest. She delivers results when it matters the most. With over 13 years of experience and licenses in both Kansas and Missouri, Lisa isn't just selling houses. She's helping you find a place to call home. Whether you are a first-time homebuyer, looking to upsize, or selling your current home, Lisa makes the process smooth and stress-free. As a local expert passionate about building lasting relationships, she ensures her clients feel confident and satisfied every step of the way. Don't wait, your perfect home is just a call away. Contact Lisa today at 913-579-3246 or 913-369-3000 or visit lisamillersaleskc.com. Let Lisa Miller at Lynch Real Estate help you start your next exciting chapter. And let her know the beat of KC, Lucas Murphy, sent you her way. Now, another person we're going to talk about is Mike Yastrzemski. And the reason is because he had some time with the Royals. Now, Kansas City's outfield remains a question mark heading into 2026. While Kyle Isbell, John Rave, Jack Caglione, and others flash potential, the group still lacks consistent everyday contributors who can balance offense and defense. And I think that's really a significant thing. There is a solid amount of defense. Kyle Isbell was a nomination for a Gold Glove. He came up short, did not win that, but the fact that he was honored for that still speaks to the type of defense he plays. He's a phenomenal center fielder. John Rave, a very up-and-coming, young, talented outfielder, had flashes. Jack Caglione, we know what Jack Caglione is able to do. He just has to really kind of put it together, and he could potentially lock down that right field spot. But the big thing is Yastrzemski's versatility, and I think that's one of the most important things that we saw last year. Being able to play all three outfield spots, handle right field particularly well, gives manager Matt Quatrero flexibility with late-game defense and lineup matchups. In his tenure with the Royals, he has played 50 games, logging 186 plate appearances, 156 at-bats, 37 hits, 14 doubles, 9 homers, 30 runs, and 18 RBIs, while having a batting average of .237, an OBP of .339, a slugging percentage of .500, and an OPS of .839. Now, Yastrzemski's offensive profile fits neatly into the Royals last year, and their needs heading into 2026. They're looking for that top-of-the-lineup type of guy. His left-handed bat adds balance to the lineup, and his ability to lead off was key. I mean, it was. While his power numbers have fluctuated, he consistently posts solid on-base percentages and works deep into counts, and that's really something you want as your leadoff guy. For a Royals team striving to improve plate discipline and on-base efficiency, Yaz's approach is exactly that type, especially coming from a veteran who sets the example and has those younger guys look to emulate that. So affordable, low-risk depth. And I think that's another thing we have to take into consideration. If they were to sign Yaz, which I do believe they probably will look to do, he's going to fit in at not necessarily a starter if they go out and make some other moves. Say they go out and make a trade for a significant bat in the outfield. Yaz could easily be a guy off the bench that comes in when he needs to take some at-bats. So financially, Yastrzemski wouldn't require a long-term or high-dollar commitment. On a one-year deal or an incentive-laden contract, he could provide both performance value and trade flexibility should the Royals, hopefully not, find themselves as sellers mid-season. I would anticipate if they go out and they really make a significant trade, get a solid power bat in the outfield, maybe they add a guy like Gleyber Torres, and then you add a Mike Yastrzemski to really fill in off the bench as a depth piece. You shouldn't be sellers mid-season, especially with this rotation and how this thing really kind of flows, and the expectations just would be pretty high for, I believe, the Kansas City Royals. Few moves offer such a balanced blend of short-term upside and roster security. So that's really going to be the end of this video. I would anticipate that Yastrzemski is going to be on the Kansas City Royals. I just think it fits. The cost, the contract is not going to be that significant. He knows the Kansas City Royals. He knows the players. He knows the ins and outs of this clubhouse. He knows how Matt Quatrero really functions. Although they are going to have some new hitting coaches and things like that, he still understands the day-to-day task of what it means to play for the Kansas City Royals. Now, on the other hand, Gleyber Torres, I'm not quite sure. It'll be interesting to see. Do they really feel the need to solidify a second base spot when they went out and traded a young arm for a guy in Jonathan India? Do they anticipate him having another full season with the Kansas City Royals, or will he be on the trade block in maybe one of these deals to go get a big bat? It's just going to be interesting to see. If they do that, then your next guy up potentially could be Michael Massey to fill that spot. It'll just be interesting to see. But I really anticipate if they keep Jonathan India, go out and get a power bat, they don't add Gleyber Torres, they add Mike Yastrzemski, I really think that this team's still going to be set up pretty good for success. I appreciate y'all checking out this video. The support on this channel has been unreal, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot thank you enough for all the support you've given me. It has been absolutely incredible. Can't thank you enough. Please smash that subscribe button, smash that like button, and I end every video the exact same way. Have a good day.